Fuck you!
Fuck me? Fuck you.
Olympus Has Fallen released to surprising success in 2013, the most popular of the two White House invasion films released that year. Offering a certain brutality combined with an 80s-style one-man army plot seemed to play well with audiences, more so than the less nasty PG-13 White House Down. Most agreed that White House Down was the better film of the two, but I can't deny I quite admire the simple retro action film style of Olympus. And with that film grossing far more than the toned-down competition, it wasn't long before a sequel went into production. Sadly, where Olympus Has Fallen was a contained, unapologetically violent throwback to action films of the past, directed with verve by Training Day's Antoine Fuqua, London Has Fallen lost the original's director and 10 million of its budget, whilst moving from the simple, smallish-scale plot of the original to have the city of London as its playground of destruction. Something that is just too ambitious for this lackluster sequel. The big problem with the setup behind London Has Fallen is one of believability. The idea that the White House could be taken over by terrorists is a bit mad, but it's played in a believable manner. Effort is done to establish how they do it, and holding a building like this doesn't feel out of the realm of possibility. But most of central London, that already feels impossible, and the film doesn't do anything to suspend your disbelief, as you spend the entire time asking where the hell the army is, where are the armed response teams. It is inherently ridiculous how quickly this bustling metropolis falls, and any sense of reality crumbles as you see the empty streets and a lack of any retaliation by the British forces. Action requires believability, it requires suspension of disbelief. If you're going to have us believe that the streets of London are suddenly under the control of a terrorist force, do more to show just how they do it. Make us believe that this could happen within the world of the film. We have to be able to suspend any disbelief that the situation be possible, so that then we believe in the hero's quest. If we already believe the whole thing is preposterous, which it is, then already any sense of tension is lost. That might be forgivable in a way if the action scenes themselves were exciting or even technically competent, but mostly they are neither. This is a drab-looking film, filled with poor CG, underlit locations, and forgettable action shot and edited poorly. It's technically inconsistent with, for example, a simple scene like this being weirdly hard to follow. It's one corridor, with one corridor going off it. It should be easy to establish geography, but somehow it is hard to follow. Who survives? Where are they stood? What direction are they shooting in? And the editing feels like something out of Taken 3. The film is like this throughout. The action scenes are boring, with very simple choreography, but yet you'd think what was happening on set was something incredibly complex. There is one relatively standout moment, a one-take shootout sequence following Butler and the SAS as they take on the terrorists' hideout, but even this is lacking compared to similar moments in other movies. Whilst it is technically commendable, narratively it is lacking. There's little point to this other than to show off. Hard-boiled's long take, one done out of necessity on set for one, helps show just how embedded in the hospital the bad guys are, and the confusion that can happen along the way with an ally killed by accident, and it all feels mercilessly tough for our heroes, making their successful slog through the location more worthy of celebration when they make it through. In London Has Fallen, we simply see how they get from A to B, with every obstacle very quickly surpassed by Banning. It doesn't feel that difficult for him, and it doesn't show us anything new. He's good at killing people. Great. It's exciting when compared to the rest of the film, yes, but it doesn't have any substance, and it's not technically awe-inspiring enough to be anything more than the best moment of a bad movie. It's still forgettable. If you tell us this,
there are nearly 100 terrorists in there.
Make it difficult, or show us Banning doing something surprising or creative to get through it. He simply runs and guns and wins. It's lazy. And that's really the thing here, it all just feels lazy. The setup for the whole damn story has no real logic worked out and applied to it. You're asked to just accept it. There is no real confusion or tension played up in the actual city takeover scene. If you have all these guys in disguise, why not have the protagonist question just who they should be shooting? Who is friend and who is foe? It would be a cool, tense sequence, but it never materializes. Instead, it's just another shoot 'em up with police uniforms instead of hoodies. Hell, the final action sequence is just in a series of concrete-lined corridors. and the final fight happens next to some very well-established iron rebars that never get used for anything. Where's the creativity? Where's the style? Where's the love for what you're making? It just feels rushed, trying to hit the beats of the original with none of the effort that one put in. If you're looking for a silly old-school throwback action film, watch Olympus Has Fallen. All you'll get here is a series of uninspired, violent moments and some very questionable politics. It's a shame, as I'd have totally been down for Jared Butler holding down, perhaps, the Houses of Parliament. Not London itself. Let's just hope in the next one, the bad guys set their sights on a smaller target.